It's time for me to speak yet? Can't wait. Looking forward to talking to you guys.
Okay, we're good.
Greetings from your queen of Ooga Booga, that is. Hi, everybody. This is Sally Diane, and welcome to another episode of Psychic Sundays Live with Sally Diane and her producer. We are live, and anything can happen when you go live. This time, my producer we'd set up a whole new studio, and we were all ready to go, and equipment failure. So we had to run over and come into the old studio, which we are now, and come to you guys. So I'm sorry we're half an hour late, but we've been really hard at work to get here to talk to you people and tell you about my week. I don't know how many of you know this, but I've started doing a little show every week called This Week in Donald Trump. And let me tell you what, it has just been so popular. It's unbelievable. So remember to tune in every week for This Week in Donald Trump, where I do a reading on what's happening with the Don every week. But today it's about you. And so welcome everybody. And if you have questions, make sure you just put it down in the chat. Right now, I'd like to tell you about something that's going on next Saturday night. For those of you who just can't get enough of your queen live, I'm going to be here live on Saturday night on OGPS filming for Haunting Live at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. And you can catch him on his Facebook page, OGPS Filming. And we'll see you there too. But right now, let's get to the questions. Do we have any questions yet?
I have 2 viewers.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for your patience. It's awesome to see you here. So I've really enjoyed doing This Week in Donald Trump. It's really a little scary because as we're coming out of the conventions, it has such a 2016 feel. And, everything said Hillary would win, and technically speaking, she did win. But look who's in the White House. His orange fatness, that is. So hopefully enough of our friends down south will get out and vote to get Mr. Biden in the White House and get rid of their little problem. Oh my goodness, they're having such problems down there. Okay, so I would also like to congratulate my friend Lynn Stevenson out of Kincardine. She is the featured artist at their local museum, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Lynn's works, but Lynn does these awesome little necklaces that she calls unlockets, and they're really little pieces of art. They're just these little tiny paintings, and she mixes in like little gemstones and the like into the powder so that it's empowered. And the idea isn't to lock things in, it's to unlock it. For example, I got one of the real early ones, and it's always hanging on my doorway, and it's to unlock creativity. So of course I have it on my studio, which next week we will be in the studio, but this week we're in a different room coming to you guys live. And hi everybody. There are no questions. Nobody wants a reading? Okay, so how about we take a look-see? Well, now I'm already going to do Donald later on in the week, so I can't do that. But I can take a look-see at how things are going to go for Stratford. I know that that's not going to mean a lot to our friends down south, but here in Stratford, I know a lot of my viewers are from Stratford, and it's been a strange summer for us. So let's see how we get through the winter and into next season.
Hi, Kasha.
Okay.
What does my future spouse think of me? That's a really strange question.
Yeah, but it's a valid question. We don't usually ask it, but a lot of us think that. I wonder what he thinks of me. And of course, he's your future spouse, so the title alone tells me a little bit something. And we'll get to you just as soon as I get done reading what I see for Stratford. Right in the middle, you've got the two of coins. And so what that tells me is that there are going to have to be some serious decisions made over the direction that the city's going to take over the winter. And they are financial decisions. So you might see Stratford changing its approach, because before it's been strictly tourist. And I think you're going to find Stratford starting to be more business-like. What works against Stratford is the devil. And yeah, what that has to do with is that Stratford, classically speaking, no matter what is decided, it's debated not only up until the point it's decided, but well afterwards as well. It's just the way us Stratfordians are. So we're going to have a lot of objections to this, objections to that, questions, delays, yada, yada, yada. But positively aspected, we have the emperor. And, with the emperor, you would think this is a reading on a city. You would think with the emperor would be the mayor. But, I think this is the director of the Stratford Theater. And the Stratford Theater in and of itself, which is a big deal here at Stratford, is going to have to change their business approach as well. So I think that he's going to be the one to lead the city out of this current times. Now, and who was the one to know about what?
Kasha.
Kasha, you want to know what your future spouse thinks of you. Okay, just take a peek into his head, maybe peek into his heart. One thing I get around him and his heart is that, okay, the guy loves you, and he's doing his best to show it, but I think he just doesn't know how to show it in a way that you understand. But we'll see what the cards have to say. Yes, he shows up as the emperor. This guy, he is committed to you. He is looking forward to a life, to a life with you, to being the king in your life, to building a foundation. So he is looking forward to the future. And what works against him? The moon, which is exactly what I said. He loves you. He wants to build a future with you, but he doesn't quite get you. I think he just, don't count on him being able to know, to intuit what is in your heart. You really do have to spell it out for him. Also, he is so looking to the future, and he's actually thinking about his career and what he needs to do with his career going forward. So he is thinking about that forward going with Kasha. So hey, hang in there. Give the guy a break.
Before you stop, can you show all the cards to
Of
her?
course I can. Okay, so this is the one that I see that represents your fiance. The emperor. He's solid. He sits on a stone throne. he's just looking for he's looking forward to adulting with you, if you will. What works against you? You have the moon. And the moon is the card that talks about, just your inner feelings. And that's where I get that he don't assume that he knows how you feel. I'll always explain it to him, spell it out for him. He really does need that. And then positively aspected, you have the Two of Pentacles. And here's where I see him thinking about career in terms of that forever, in terms of supporting you and him through life going forward. So thank you so much for tuning in. And make sure you tell all your friends. Who's next?
Haunting Live wants to know about their friend who's got shingles and when the person.
Oh,
gets
yikes.
rid of it.
Oh, shingles are so horrible.
I just want to remind everybody that Sally is not a doctor and there is no medical advice here.
There is none whatsoever. But your friends with the shingles, it's miserable and frustrating to be itchy and owy. Okay, so the first thing that I get with your friend is the Eight of Cups. And sometimes things like illnesses come our way. They make us slow down and they make us get a different perspective on life. And right now I think that this particular period, whatever it's taking him out of actively, whatever it's doing to slow him down, he is thinking a lot about his relationships and kind of changing his perspective during this time. Negatively aspected, the Devil. And boy, I have heard that shingles hurt, they burned, it just all the things. He's really having a hard time with the pain and the burning of it. I don't blame him. And then positively aspected, you have the Ace of Wands. And I see that as timing. The positive aspect, he'll be done with it in a week. That's what the cards say. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what the cards say. Thanks so much, Haunting Live, and I really look forward to doing next week on your podcast. We'll be talking about ghosts, and I'll be doing readings and all kinds of good stuff.
Happy birthday, Monica. Of course you can have a reading.
Happy birthday. Is today your birthday, Monica? Oh, should we sing happy birthday? Say no. Say no. I'd scare the dog. And he's just sleeping calmly at my feet, so we don't want to scare him.
It more has to do with the fact that the damn thing is copyrighted.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
That's right. Every time you sing happy birthday, somebody's supposed to get paid a nickel.
Okay, so what was your question, Monica?
Well, yeah, there's more coming all of a sudden.
Okay, so.
See, her hubby are separated for 9 months and wants to know, blah, blah.
Yeah, you've got the Five of Wands here. And with my Five of Wands, you see you got this guy here in red. And he's kind of self-satisfied. And I'm just wondering if your hubby might be drawing this out because he likes the fight. Because somehow this situation is kind of making him feel, the word Schadenfreude comes up. I hope I said that right. But yeah, keep in mind right now that the reason the fight is going on is because he likes the fight. You might want to make it not so fun for him. And that means, you tone it down, not to turn it up, because it sounds like he would really like to see it ratcheted up. What works against you, what's negative in this situation, is the Page of Cups. Is there a child here?
I'll take a while.
Oh, okay.
Delay.
Oh, okay. So anyhow, what works against you is the Page of Cups. And I'm wondering if it's a child, but
No
is,
kid.
pardon?
No kid.
Okay, so I'll continue. It's somebody who's young and a little bit innocent, and maybe that's probably your own naivety that's working against you. Because the first thing you get is this warning about the guy just wants to keep the fight going. The positive aspect, and I really want you to focus on this, Monica, is a magician. And that's the most powerful card. And that talks about abilities that you have. It reminds you that you have more control in this situation than you're exercising. You can mold the situation to go into the direction you want it to go in. You know, you have everything you need. You just have to put it together and maybe put a little mojo on it. So figure out what you want and make it happen. And try not to feed this, whatever he's got going.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess. How you doing? So, Monica, thank you.
No. She says it's out of my hands now because he cheated on me. Response.
Well, no, it's not. You don't have to put up with that. You can't control what he does, but you can control what you do and how you respond to it. You know, he doesn't look like he's exactly sorry. Sorry if I'm, no. He doesn't look like he's exactly sorry. It might be time for you to take control of your own life. You might not be able to control this situation, but you need to be in charge of something in your life. Whether it's home, whether it's career, but you don't need to be feeding, there's a kind of cruelty there with this guy.
You're welcome, Monica.
Okay. Wow. Oh,
if you've got any questions, type them away.
Oh, yes, please. I know that it has been a frustrating night for us with all the... what happened was my producer had set up a separate room, the room that's my studio, to be the YouTube studio. And it's just beautiful. And the lighting was all up, but we used a different computer. And try as we might, we just couldn't get that computer to talk to YouTube. And my producer is just an absolute whiz at computer problems, but my laptop is, I guess, just a bigger problem than he could solve. But eventually, at 9 o'clock, we're just moving everything back to the old place and back to the old computer as fast as we can. So pardon if the background isn't set up quite right. We really had to move stuff over very, very fast, which I appreciate it. Set up the lighting and the camera, lickety-split. So we're only half an hour late. But you can make up for that half hour by tuning in next Saturday night at 8 o'clock at the OGPS Facebook page. He will be broadcasting on Haunting Live, and I will be there with Chris and Trevor, and we'll be talking about ghosts, of course, and I will be doing readings. And we will especially be talking about an event that I have coming up with OGPS Filming in November. And that would be the first weekend in November, Friday and Saturday night. And it's going to be a dinner. And then there will be, I will be one of the speakers. Chris will be one of the speakers. And also we will be having a guest speaker. Oh, well, here, I'll have to read it later.
No, this is for the on air.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just want to wish best of luck to Julia pardon me, to Julia Notebomber, whose 14th birthday is today, and she decided to swim Lake Erie.
Wow.
From Ontario to USA.
Wow.
They had to get special permission, of course, with COVID and the borders closed and all that. But this was her 14th birthday wish, and apparently you can't make that crossing until you're 14. Otherwise, you would have done it last year. So congratulations, Julia. We hope that you.
Congratulations, Julia. And now. And back to what I was talking about before with the OGPS filming, I'll be one of the keynote speakers. And I will be talking about the history of the Queen's Inn, and I will also be talking about the ghosts of the queens, who I know very well. And Chris will also be talking about some of his experiences as a paranormal investigator. And we'll also have a special guest speaker. Afterwards, there'll be a meet and greet. And for those of you who will be staying at the Queen's Hotel, we're going to have a pajama party with your queen and the OGPS guys. So we're looking forward to that. Saturday will be workshops all day long. And then on Saturday night, we're going to do a paranormal investigation, and you will be able to join in. And for the finale, we'll be having a seance. Have you ever been part of a seance? Well, you can be a part of a seance now. Just send me an email to thequeenofOogabooga@gmail.com, and I'll send you all the details. And I look forward to seeing you then.
Hi, Marcy. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Marcy. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Sonia.
Sonia, it's nice to see you here.
All right, so let's start with Samantha. Should I get a second dog? Yes.
You can never have enough dogs.
Now, moving on to Sonia. Sonia wants to know if there's anything new coming for her.
Sonia, something new. You've got the Two of Swords right in the middle. And whatever you're thinking about, because there's a restlessness to that question. And whatever you're thinking about, it's almost like, if you have a shelf that's full, you have to take something off the shelf to make room for new things. And this is telling me that you can attract something new to your life, but you've got to get rid of something else first. It looks like you might have more of a full life than you think. Okay, so what works against you is the Ace of Cups. Okay, and when I see the Ace of Cups, especially when it's ill aspected, it tells me a little bit about emotionality. And so this would be a good time for you to kind of get a cap on your emotions, maybe do a little bit more meditating. But positively aspected, and it's not lost on me that you have a 2 in the middle, and judgment is 20, but that reduces to a 2. So it still has the same numerological energies as a 2. There's a judgment, positively aspected for you. And so what this is saying is that something new isn't going to happen on its own, but this is a good time for you to focus on making something new happen. And that really works out well for you. And with the judgment, kind of tells me that the hand of the universe is on your side there. So if you start something, you'll get some help. You'll get some help from spirit. So go for it, Sonia. Okay.
Careful, I don't whistle something copyrighted.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so my crown is slipping a little bit, so I'm just going to take off the little thing that I put on it. See this little thing right here that I thought would keep it in place, It stays in place better on its own. And my producer keeps pointing to the camera. I'm terrible about not looking into the camera. And I know. Okay. Marcy, I know you're still out there, and I'm going to do a reading for you just because I can. See what my cards have to say to Marcy today.
Hi, Suzanne.
Marcy, you've got the 9 of Cups. Good cards. You've got a good week coming up. What works against you is the 9 of Swords. This is a week for you to be selfish. The 9 of Cups is kind of a selfish card. And the 9 of Swords says don't lose sleep worrying about other people, especially people who don't solve their own problems. And positively aspected is the 2 of Cups. So I'm assuming that that's you and you're praying some hands. Okay, so what do you guys think? Who else should I do a reading on?
Like celebrity?
Yeah, like Donald Trump's just went off the chain. Biden, Harris, and Pence, nobody cared. Nobody. Justin Bieber, he got some thumbs up on his reading. But who else should I read? Anybody got some ideas? Oh, I tried Justin Trudeau, and you know something? For a guy as cute as him, nah.
Harry and Meghan.
Oh, yes. Who doesn't like the royals?
Me.
I cried at their wedding. Oh my God, was it beautiful.
The only royal that was ever any good was Kaiser Franz Josef.
And I am pretty sure his brother was King George V, wasn't he? And
Yeah,
they were twins.
Stepbrother,
They looked alike.
in-laws, cousins. You never know. That royal blood's blue because of the inbreeding.
Oh dear. Okay, so as long as nobody's asking questions, how about I just go ahead and do Meghan and Harry? I'll do another reading on them, but this is just for you guys. Let's see what's coming up for Meghan and Harry. Do we have more ex-royal babies on the way? Is that how it goes? I don't know.
Ex-royal babies?
Well, because they took a step back. They pulled out of the royal family. So does that mean their babies are going to be royal, or are their babies going to be separated from the royal family too? Who knows?
Yeah.
7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups. And you know what really gets me is it really feels like this is talking more about Meghan than Harry. She's not sure who to trust, and she has a lot of offers coming her way, but she's not sure whether she should take them or not. Since she's gotten married, life has become very treacherous for her, and it's just got this feeling of a quagmire. And so she wants to move forward. She actually wants to start maybe doing some acting gigs or something like that. And yet it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, because she's finding out how many people she cannot trust. What works against them is that royal family thing. It's very hard for both of them to adhere to the protocol that they have to follow with the royal family. Both of them do. But I think that Harry his moves are more determined just because he knows the way around there. And I really haven't seen him yet. This is mostly about Megan and just how she's doing. I'm really concerned about her mental health right now because she is so lost. Oh, good, good, good. Positively aspected, you have the Page of Swords. So she is going to find somebody to guide her through the treacherous roads ahead. So even if they aren't in the royal family per se, they still have the paparazzi. They still have everybody following their every move. So they may have moved out of Buckingham Palace, but they basically still have the same life. So that's Meghan and Harry. And more on them next week. I will do a reading for them. That was a good idea.
All right, so we also got a request for Kate Middleton, but hold on that. Hi, Wanda. What's coming up?
Hi, Wanda.
But first, Haunting Live. We're not going to do a reading for a fourth party. That person can call in or type in themselves. That friend's daughter's friend.
You get first off, you get funny energies because you're not connecting directly with the person, and plus that there's that whole permission thing. So it's so much better. And I've told I tell everybody, when you send in your hands, if you want to do get a palm reading, make sure you send in your own palms. I will not do a reading for somebody else's palms. Everybody who wants a palm reading needs to send in their own palms themselves. Okay, so we have a request for Kate Middleton, do we?
Yeah.
I like Weighty Katie. She sure did become queen-like very, very fast. Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. You've got the Lovers right in the middle. You look at this, and I would have to agree with that. Both Kate and William, personality-wise, fit very well into the royal lifestyle. It just clicks with them. What works against them is the Knight of Coins. And the Knight of Coins is a slow-moving knight. And in mine, you see, you're looking at the horses behind, and I'm seeing that as being a bit of a horses behind. And what I see is one thing that works against him is basically Charles. His dad and her father-in-law, because he's slow, he's doddering, and he's in the way. He's just in the way. I don't know how else to put it. What works for her, other than she's young, beautiful, popular, the Three of Coins. And this is probably why she fits so well into this. She is a hard worker. And she works her tail off for everything. And that's why she's successful.
All right, what's her policies on reading for nephews?
For nephews?
Yes. At least you're related.
Well, yeah, the problem with reading people, and I can read your nephew as far as what your relationship is with your nephew. But to go step outside of that, then I'm breaching, confidentiality and permission issues, and I wouldn't get a good reading. But I could read whatever if there's a situation directly between you and him.
Now that confidentiality stuff, that is a personal maxim mantra that you do.
Yeah, it's a personal one. I try really hard to be respectful of people, And so that's why I kind of, we all want to do readings on this person, that person. We want to know what's going on in the lives of those around us and how it relates back to us. But, I walk a fine line because it's not ethical for me to reveal other people's secrets. And I probably don't have permission to do it anyway. And then plus that, the quality of the reading, because you're always going to get best quality reading if I'm reading for you and you directly.
Okay, so hi Suzanne.
Hey Suzanne, welcome back. It's nice to see you.
Is there going to be second wave of COVID that will be effective with back to school? I have a little one at home, and she would also like to know about her week ahead at work.
Okay, and that's Suzanne.
Yeah, Suzanne, she's a hospital worker.
I'm going to get just a little off screen here. A card flew out, and it dropped on the floor.
Felix is guarding it.
Felix is guarding it, yes. Wait a second. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Well, I can't have... Okay.
The mad search for the flying card.
Okay, so I would have to say, Suzanne, that your week is going to be elusive. I think the card flying out and disappearing, it tells us that. So I'm sorry for everybody that we're one card short. My producer is working hard to try and find out what that card is, because now I'm really curious. But let's take a look-see. First, I'm going to kind of give it to you in reverse order, Suzanne. I'm going to look at your week ahead first, and then I'm going to look at the COVID thing, because that's something that impacts everybody. So that's going to be a reading for everybody. So first, Suzanne's week. What's your week like? Well, one thing, I don't know whether you have stomach problems or not, but I really feel like you've got kind of a stomach tension thing going, and I get this feeling that you shouldn't let people get you stressed out. You definitely shouldn't let people get you stressed out, because you're in the groove this week. You'll do very well. You'll do very well. Don't stress. What works against you? Okay, so you got the King of Coins. And that just has a feeling of somebody at work that's kind of, we all have a frenemy at work, right? And this is somebody who works alongside of you, but sometimes against you. So there's a little bit of competition there. And so I wouldn't be trusting your frenemy this week. And what works for you is the Seven of Cups. And that's an odd card to have in a positive position. But what I see that telling me is that there are opportunities around you. There are good things happening that you just don't see forming yet. So kind of be a little bit more aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you this week, because there are ways to move ahead a bit this week. And now for the COVID. We still didn't find that doggone card, did we? And it doesn't help that the floor is the same color as the cards.
Yep, from now on, for the rest of the night,
it's under there.
77 card readings.
77 card readings. It'll be okay. The tarots adjust. I've had this deck for 30 years. It knows me well. So
we got a joker around somewhere.
No.
How about your teaching deck?
We will, my teaching deck. Okay, guys, we're going to go with the teacher's deck. So that's a huge deck. So now let's look at the COVID thing with a big deck. Seriously big deck. Okay. The Rona, the Rona, the Rona. What's the Rona going to do for us? Boy, one thing I feel, because you'd asked if there's going to be a second wave, and I feel like things are just going to kind of fire up right when you start to feel fall in the air. So we're not quite there yet. We might be a couple weeks off of it, but when you smell the leaves and that, like fall has a smell to it. Okay, so. No, he's being grumpy. Okay, so the first thing we get is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is about sacrifices. And we've certainly made a lot of sacrifices. Unlike some other folks that haven't. We've done our social distancing. We've closed down. We're still focusing on distancing. We're really good about wearing our masks and sanitizing and that. We're not getting into huge crowds and yelling and shouting and the like. So we're going to do much better than our friends to the south with the second wave, but it will come. And we will be glad that we took the safety measures that we took. The negative aspect is the Ace of Wands. So that tells me that the negative one is that it exists at all. And that we are going to get a second wave. And we were kind of hoping that we could kind of skirt around that too, but not quite so lucky. Positively aspected, the King of Wands. And folks, I see this as being Justin Trudeau. I know a lot of people don't like him. I do. And especially now because he is making sure that our government is being generous. And yeah, I know it's creating a lot of debt, but this is a time, a government isn't like a family, where you have a savings account and that. Yeah, I know we have to be mindful of the budget, but the government's first duty is to take care of its people. And that's what the Canadian government is doing with the checks and they're bolstering up businesses, they're bolstering up cities. And yeah, they're spending money like crazy. This is the time to do it. And when this is all said and done and you get into next winter, you'll find that Canada will pull ahead much faster than the U.S. We will be past our second wave and well on the mend, while our neighbors to the south are still trying to find their feet. Okay, so next question.
Oh, we got any more questions?
Do we have any more questions? Of course we do.
Yolanda wants to know what's coming up in general.
And Suzanne, after the show, we're going to move furniture and we're going to get that card, and I'm going to let you know what the card is that came flying out of the deck. My 30-year-old deck. Okay, so Wanda gets the teacher's deck. Okay, so the first card we get is the world. The world. Wanda, the world is your apple. This one tells me that this is a time for you to dream big, reach big. You know how they say that you want to go for the brass ring? That was an old thing in the carousels, where the carousels, there was a brass ring, and the idea is when you rode around, you grabbed the brass ring. It was kind of like a prize. Well, this is a time for you to reach for the prize. What works against you is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is about nostalgia. The Six of Cups is about the past. And I think what works against you now is that you're kind of dealing with the restrictions from the past. And you're letting old hurts and old memories and old failures slow you down. And you just have to kind of put it behind you. And when you start getting worried about it, just tell yourself, that was then, this is now. And what works positively for you is you. You show up as Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a fiery, confident queen. And what the card reminds me the most of is this queen is the only queen that sits with her legs apart. And that's a show of confidence. And so this is a time for you to be bold and confident. And thanks for asking. Go for it, Wanda. Okay, who's next? Or do I need to talk about something? Should I talk about my radio days?
Trevor wants to know about his week at work.
Oh, Trevor? Okay.
I see you coming into a lot of money.
It's time to make the donuts. Gee whiz, Trevor. You know you don't have a boring job, but you're kind of getting yourself into a rut because the visual I'm getting is kind of a scene from modern times. So you're just kind of trudging into work like everybody else, and it feels really robotic. And I hope you break out of that because you're just too bright and creative a person to be stuck in that kind of a rut. That is the biggest card for you this week, the Magician. And the Magician is the guy that he has everything in front of him, but he knows how to put it together to make things happen. And this is a time for you to sit back and take a really good long look at what you have at your disposal. Figure out how you can make your job more satisfying for you. The negative aspect, what's going to go wrong this week? Oh, God. Seven of Swords. And the idea behind the Seven of Swords is gossip. And, the gossip will, the gossip is someone who will hurt people even when it doesn't benefit them. And one word that came through really hard here is lies. And so this is not a good week. Do not tolerate lies or liars or gossips. This is bad behavior from other people. And that works against you. But when you're showing up as the Magician, focus in on you. And positive aspect, the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups. This is a week that that's going to be uplifting. I think you're going to start out trudge-worthy because I just feel that trudging and, shuffling your feet off to work. But by the time hump day comes around, by the time Wednesday comes around, you're going to be feeling a lot more light of heart and a lot happier about things. So if you've wanted to make some changes, now is time to do it. Okay.
So that Magician, one of the things he would practice, like alchemy, turning lead into gold.
Yeah, well, turning lead into gold, the alchemy. It's been said, of the Magician, and this is of the universal magician or somebody who practices magic with a K, that a good magician understands the web of the universe so well that he can reach over here and tweak a piece of the web over here to make something happen over here. And that's what the Magician is all about. The things that we can make happen for ourselves.
All right. Hi, Shannon. Hi,
Nice
Lindell.
Lindell, hi! I miss you.
Hi, Alchemy. We were just talking about you. Shannon wants to know, when will the good start shining through in my life aspect? Shannon, open the
Your
curtain.
attitude determines your altitude.
Open the curtain.
You're good.
Seriously, just open the curtains, open the windows. There's lots of good out there. You just gotta let it in.
Twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
Bianca.
So, Shannon. See, the middle card is the Fool. And the Fool, that's a really powerful card. This big tattoo I have on my arm is actually a take on the Fool card. This Fool card in particular, it's got that cliff right there. And the thing with the Fool card is talks about optimism. It talks about moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other and move ahead knowing that you're moving towards something good even if you can't see the end goal. A lot of times, like not in this particular Fool card, but in a lot of Fool cards, you'll see the Fool with an alligator or a lion. A little alligator or a little lion just, clamped onto their legs. And that's the idea of, it's the bad stuff in life that pushes you along. But the reason that I have such a large tattoo based on the Fool card, and the caption is "The Real Bionic Woman," is because it talks about, it talks about having optimism and a belief in the future. And this is what Fool tells you. If you want to return to happiness, that's where you have to find it. And don't tell me, people put it the other way around. Like I'm going to be optimistic when I find happiness. No. Be optimistic and you will have happiness. Happiness isn't a destination. It's not something that you find. It's a state of mind. It rests between your ears.
Bianca wants to know if she's going to become pregnant in the next 4 months.
Now, Shannon, this is funny. The negative aspect is the world. So I worry that you have all this in front of you. You have the world at your feet. You're just not grabbing it. So figure out what you want from life and go for it. And go for it with a smile. There's a lot to be said for just being happy for no good reason. What works in your favor is the King of Pentacles. And a lot of, I don't really see that as being a male. I see that as being an aspect of you. And the king is saying, the King of Pentacles, he's not just confident. He's tenacious and he's stubborn. And this is a good time for you to be tenacious and stubborn. And another thing about the king that would benefit you, the king has balls. And even though you may not have been born with them, act like you got them.
All right, let's see what's going on here.
Now, before I go any further, they say you've made it when you have haters, and I have a hater. And she says she could only stand to watch me for a minute. But she spent a good 5 minutes writing this long post, complete with pukey emojis and the whole 9 yards. The only thing that I'm going to address here is she talked about the way I sit in my chair. Okay, folks, I have 2 replacement knees, 2 replacement hips, arthritis in my back, and 2 fused vertebrae. And on top of all that, I'm 4'10 and a half. My feet don't even reach the floor. So this is why I move around and lurch in my seat. If I look like somebody who struggles to keep her head up and keep her balance, it's because I do struggle to keep my head up and keep my balance. But I'll tell you what, I am so grateful to the doctors that just keep rebuilding me. And I'm grateful to be able to walk. I'm grateful to be able to have the active life I do have. I'm thankful that I'm not in a wheelchair. So that's that. That's why I lurch around in my seat.
Lavender wants to know if Aquarius and her are going to reconcile.
wasn't there a baby there before we had reconciliation?
I know somebody has asked about Aquarius before, and I don't know if that was the same person.
Yeah, I think was it Brittany?
I really don't know.
Okay, but this one fell out. Who had the question about the baby? Give it 10 weeks. 10 weeks or October. There's a 10 there.
That was Bianca.
And Bianca, remember, another thing, a baby is a big responsibility. You know, it might be, it's a big responsibility. It's a lot of work. Okay, so, and I know that's what your mom says too, but it's true.
Back to Lavender.
Okay, so where am I?
Lavender and Aquarius want to reconcile.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's lovely.
Wow. She wants to reconcile. Sorry, Lavender, I'm assuming that you're a woman. It's really hard to tell since so few people are using their real names on YouTube.
You know, if you really want to get back together with this guy, your opportunity will come in October, but you know, I'm not gonna say he's a dick, but
You just did.
did I? Anyhow, there were issues before. There's this old Yiddish proverb that if you have a pair of shoes that pinches your feet, just put it in your closet for 6 months and bring it back out. And guess what? It'll pinch your feet again. And I think that whatever the problems were, and you're the one that's carrying them, are just going to come back, but even bigger and heavier. Are you sure you want to reconcile with this guy just for more of the same? It's up to you. If you want to reconcile, you can, but if you want to change the outcome, you'll have to change the fella.
All right, same question from Jessica.
Jessica, pinchy shoes, pinchy shoes. Why does everybody want pinchy shoes? Okay, so Jessica wants to reconcile. I'll be nice. Nice wash over me. Jessica, reconcile. You see, the difference is that in the other case, well, you know, what I said about the guy. This time it's more like it's not, there's not emotional abuse there, or there's not a bad habit or bad behavior. It's more like a fish and a bird sort of thing. Well, you know, a fish and a bird can fall in love, but where are they going to live? The middle pillar is the high priestess, which says you already know the answer to that. Okay, but we'll see what else it is so we all know the answer. Oh, there's the high priestess. You know, and she sees more than that, because you look at the way her gown goes over that crescent moon. She sees more than she lets on, and you see more than you let on. What works against you, that Ace of Wands just keeps on coming up. So what works against you is it's not really a new beginning, but works for you. Okay. You see, this works out better. This does work out better, but there's a few intimacy problems here that will continue. But overall, there's something here that, you know, like when you get that first intuitive one that says you already know the answer. I think you guys are already working on this. But this one turns out well. You've got 6 of Wands positively aspected. So that talks about, you know, feeling victorious, but the kind of victory where you have those around you cheering you on too. So you guys are not the only ones that would like to see you guys reconciled. You must have been a favorite couple.
Gloria, can you clarify your question, please? Chris wants to know he's going to get back in touch with his family. Move on.
Okay, so Chris and the family.
Everybody loves the crown.
Thank you.
And you should ignore your eaters.
Of course I should. Of course I should. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew I'm okay. I just lurch about in my seat. With reason. Okay, getting back together with your family. Stellar idea. Stellar idea. You get the Ace of Swords coming right through. And the thing about the Ace of Swords, you don't just have the crown of victory, but you also have this idea of accomplishment. And I really feel like there's been maybe a lack of understanding or a lack of communication, but the doorways seem to have opened up a lot. So this might be more than one member of your family that kind of needs to be won over a bit. What works against you is the Knight of Swords. And the thing with the Knight of Swords, he moves forward fast. But sometimes he doesn't always think about where he's going. So even though it's your family, even though it's favorably aspected, just before, just think about everything before you speak. Think about everything before you do. Try not to be rash. Try not to go in too quickly. Yeah. Test the waters. And what's positively aspected, ta-da, the Magician. Yes, this is something you can make happen. Just don't let them think you want it too bad. You know how to do that one.
Okay. Jessica, your question has been answered. Gloria. There's a liver study she's not quite sure if she wants to start on Friday.
A liver study?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's like baby beef versus chicken or pork liver. She didn't make it clear even after I asked for clarification.
Yeah, because it's
a medical question, so
Yeah, and medical questions. I'm just giving you what the cards say. I'm not a doctor, and I'm no substitute for medical treatment if you need it. See, when you said a liver study, I was thinking more along it being a medical test.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but without her clarifying, it's hard to know.
You've got the world. You've got the world. So yes, you should go ahead and go through it. Yes, 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 yes. You'll get the results that you want.
Woo!
What works against you? The Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords... Oh, the Ten of Swords tells me about kind of... well, for a lack of better way to put it, kicking a dead horse. You're kind of stuck in, this dithering. Do it, do it, do it. Don't let yourself get stuck. And the positive, fine. You've got the King of Swords, favorably aspected. And I know that doesn't mean anything to you yet, but it will. What I see in the King of Swords is a male in this situation, whether he's a teacher or a doctor. He's somebody who you can trust, and he's going to give you a dose of truth, but it's a good dose of truth. Thank you, folks. Okay, so thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. I look forward to this every Sunday. Thank you for being tolerant of our late start. Remember to tune in this week in Donald Trump, which will be coming in midweek. Also, got 2 doses of Sally Diane live next weekend. You can watch me at 8 o'clock on Saturday night at OGPS Live for Haunting Live. OGPS filming for Haunting Live, and that will be at 8 o'clock. And also 9 o'clock for Psychic Sundays Live with your Queen of Ooga Booga and my producer. Have a great week, everybody. If you have questions, send me an email to the Queen of Ooga Booga at gmail.com. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next Sunday at 9 o'clock for Psychic Sundays Live. Farewell. And I'll wear my crown.